All right, welcome back to the program. It's Off the Bench presented by United Dairy Farmers. Also nice to have sponsors with us coming on board. Penn Station, along with UDF as a title sponsor. Encore Technologies with us from day one. If your company or business, or you know somebody's company or business that would like to be part of the program, we are open for business. Okay? Fair enough. And Chatterbox Sports has so much going on. It's not just this show. But our game day show, everything getting underway tonight. Big time rival here locally. Hamilton-Baden playing Ross. That is our featured game. A couple of other monster games in the area tonight. But we've got our game day show, the actual telecast of the games. Every weekend, anywhere from 5, 7 to 10 games you can take a look at, watch live, stream them or watch them tomorrow, whatever the case may be. We also have a couple of new shows on. Paul Frischner kicked off his show yesterday. Very excited. Paul's going to stop in today, and I have to have him come in because he gave us a little snippet previewing his program last week. And his final numbers, this is a gambling show, right? And he said, sprinkle in a little money line on the New York Football Giants. They won. His 3 picks last night, okay?
Yep.
All hit, which means that Reed Mouse can now go home and not have his wife beat him over the head about losing money.
Exactly.
He hit the lottery on all 3 picks. So we got a lot going on here at Chatterbox Sports, and we'd like you to be part of the team. All right, fellas, here we go. Let's put up the records overall for this season. Brandon holding a 1-game lead over Casey, and I bring up the rear. That will not last long. 7-9.
All right.
You got
all right, that's where we are going into our picks, which begin right now. We have 5 college games. We begin with the Bearcats, and again, Miami is the home team. That's at Paycor Stadium tomorrow at noon. 22 points a spread. I'm going to go with the Bearcats.
Yeah, and I am as well. I think it's going to be they're going to probably cover by 4 touchdowns, I would say.
Ooh, wow, that's a big. I mean, they played well against Kennesaw State. UC at times over the first few years of FIC had struggled with this game and not really struggle, but covering a spread like that. And after talking, just to add to what you and Doc were talking about, you're only going to have 3 non-conference games of the 9-game schedule in the Big 12. This either has to become your Kennesaw State game, or you got to get rid of it.
Yep.
And I'm all for tradition, and I'm an old-fashioned mind, but it's going to be the Cats to win this one and anyone in the future.
Okay, so we all go with UC. All right, next up on the docket, the Mighty Buckeyes are at home, 2-0. They get Jackson Smith in Jigba and Julian Fleming back in their receiving core, which really Ohio State has turned into receiver U. As far as producing guys in the NFL. They had 2 number 1 picks last year in the draft, this year in the draft, in Olave and Garrett Wilson, and Smith and Jigma led pipe cinch. Marvin Harrison Jr. led pipe cinch. All those guys number 1 picks. 32 the spread against Toledo. I take the Mighty Buckeyes. Gentlemen?
Yeah, I'm also taking OSU. They burnt me last week, but
Yep.
32 is a bit smaller than 44, so I think they have a pretty good chance of covering this.
Yeah, I don't think the Rockets have a shot.
Okay. Wow. Okay. No separation here, or chance for separation here. All of us either win or lose both of those games. Third up, is that going to change? Youngstown State off to a good start. 2-0 at Kentucky, off to a great start. Going down in the swamp and winning at Florida last week. And all of a sudden ranked number 9 in the country. Kentucky.
Big time. Big
number
time.
9. It's not basketball. I take the Cats.
Yeah, I am also taking the Cats on this one. They impressed me against Florida. I was really impressed with Florida when they beat Utah. And then the way that they just dismantled Florida this past Saturday, I mean, I think it's a no-brainer that they're going to at least cover the spread.
That's a big number, though.
Kentucky is for real. They're a real top 10 team. I think the Wildcats obviously are going to win. I don't think by 25.5. Doug Phillips, the old running back coach at UC in his second year up at Youngstown State. I got the Penguins.
Okay. That's Jim Tressel's old school, right?
Yep.
He's been president of that school
Yeah.
the last number of years. He just announced that he's going to retire. I was at that Ohio State Notre Dame game, and it was one of the coolest moments I have ever seen when they brought back out as the anniversary, the 20-year anniversary of that 2002 national championship team, and all those star players in the history of Ohio State are there. But Jim Tressel was there, and the players picked him up and put him on their shoulders and walked off the field. He was never able to have that goodbye moment at Ohio State. First class all the way. Okay, Ohio University, the Mighty Bobcats, going to Iowa State. Iowa State is 2-0. They're coming off a win over Iowa. A 10-7 game, as I recall. Thank you, Casey.
Yep.
I take the Mighty Bobcats every week, no matter what. They got shellacked at Penn State, but Iowa State ain't Penn State.
Yeah, and I was going back and forth with this game. I just can't get over the fact that they're just not scoring a whole lot. So I think Ohio can cover the spread. So.
All right, Casey.
I had a late change here. I'm taking the Cyclones to cover.
Wow.
I got. There's gonna be some separation here. We're all picking the same stuff.
Yeah, that's true. But when your area of the nation is just that good, Ohio.
I love
UC,
OU.
and-
Love OU. It's a fun time. Like I've said before, I almost went there for college, but I think Iowa
You would have
State-
not fared well there.
Well, I didn't make it to West Virginia.
And I'm saying, in West Virginia compared to OU, that's like, independent ball compared to the Ohio University.
What, you don't think they're on the same level of party school?
No.
What? No. I think they've
Actually, OU has changed a lot in that regard. I'm not suggesting that it's not a fun time because I go back a couple of times a year. But when I started there, they brought in a guy named Charles Ping, who was like the provost or something at Harvard or Yale, something like that. There were 32 bars on campus when I started my freshman year. By the time I graduated, there were 9.
Yikes.
And it's not because they went out of business. They just shut them down. All right. Is that it for college, or we have any more game? Oh, we got one more. Okay, Georgia, now ranked number 1, leapfrogging Alabama against South Carolina. That is at South Carolina. South Carolina is a program on the rise. They got the kid from Oklahoma, the
Spencer
quarterback.
Rattler,
right?
Yep.
They're 1-1. I take the Dogs 24.5. Gentlemen?
Yeah, I'm taking the Dogs too. I think Spencer Rattler is overrated, but I also won't bet against Georgia like I did against Oregon in that game week 1.
Oregon High School.
Oregon High School, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, they taught me a lesson, and I'm not going to bet against them this year. So
It's a clean sweep.
It is across the board.
Bulldogs beating the Gamecocks.
Yeah, although I think that's going to be, at least for a little while, and maybe it turns out to be for a long while, that game could be an interesting game to watch. Because Rattler's freshman year at Oklahoma, I mean, this cat was unbelievable. And then he was unbelievable. Top 5 in the Heisman, freshman. Got it going on out there with Lincoln Riley and so forth, and then he got hurt. Ineffective, loses his job, and straight to the transfer portal. Now it's South Carolina. Time to shift gears to the pro game. And here we go. Bengalis giving the Cowboys 7. I take the Bengalis to cover.
Homer
Ben?
show.
Yep, here
Homer
It's a
show.
cheerleading program. We documented that last week. I still can't believe there's video out there of us singing Cincinnati Bengals. That's a team we're going to root to victory.
It's the hear the Bengals growling song or whatever that is.
Yeah, the Who
Theme
Dey
song.
chant and the theme song, the touchdown dance.
We have fun here, Tom.
Yeah, and of course I'm picking Bengals here. I think they're gonna just destroy the Cowboys, honestly. But
Burrow's going to come back mad and absolutely destroy the Cowboys.
Okay.
In Dallas.
I think Joe Mixon has a big day this
Yep.
week. I'd like to get him cranked up. Don't throw the ball all the time just because you felt like you didn't throw it well enough last week and you feel like you got to throw it this week. Find out if Dallas can stop the run. All right, Jets v. Browns. Brownies at home. Get the win on the road in Carolina. First time since 2004 the Browns won a season opener. Think about that.
Whew.
They're going to go to 2-0, covering 6.5.
Wow.
yeah, And I'm picking the Jets in this one. Just I think the spread's a little bit too much.
Joe Flacco again, right?
Yep, Joe Flacco again, I believe. And I don't know. I saw how he did against the Ravens, and this might really turn around to bite me in the butt, but I don't have faith in Cleveland just consistently doing what they're doing currently. So
Yeah, the Browns are the Browns.
Wow.
yeah.
So
I
think it's going to be.
You guys are picking.
I think Cleveland might win, but it's going to be like a 3-point game,
Yeah.
under a touchdown.
I'm definitely going to make up some room this week.
Right.
Okay. Next up, we stay inside the AFC North as we do every week. We're picking everybody in the North all year long, and then we'll sprinkle in some other games here and there. Miami looked really good at home against New England. Tua looked very good. Yeah. Hold your breath on that one. But no, we got this wrong. I took Baltimore here. So forgive me. Let's make sure we get that corrected.
I don't know. I swear you told me before the show.
No. I never, ever, nor will I ever all year long. You can take it to the bank. I will not pick against the Ravens at home. Ever.
All right.
Ever. You guys?
I'm gonna just take the gamble on this one and pick Miami. I think that if they're going to be the team that everyone thinks they're going to be with their new weapon in Tyreek Hill and the step forward for Tua, that they have to come in here, win this game. They got to show that they can play in the AFC East with the Bills and the Patriots. I know they just beat them, which is why I have faith that they'll at least be able to cover this spread. But, I have – the other part of this is that I don't really have a lot of faith in Baltimore.
Okay.
I think Miami's defense is really good. And if Baltimore is too one-dimensional, it's going to show up really big in this game. So I pick Miami.
And I'm going with you, Tom. Baltimore at home. I think they win by at least a touchdown.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Next up, it will be the Pittsburgh Steelers. I have to tell you, and I mentioned in the monologue in the opening, I just don't understand this, but those are much smarter people that put together these lines in Vegas. The Patriots and the Steelers. New England gets just lit up down in Miami. And now New England, for a second straight week, goes on the road, this time to Pittsburgh. And New England is a 2-point favorite in the game. I'm taking the Steelers.
Yeah, I don't think the Patriots are going to throw 4 interceptions and fumble the ball. And so I think that's why they win this game, honestly. Probably convincingly, too. I think they're going to really blow out this
Really?
spread. Yeah.
Really?
I really do. I think the Patriots – I mean, like TJ Watt's out. Like they don't have their full defense healthy right now. This is not looking good for the Steelers, in my opinion.
Okay.
I picked the Patriots. I don't think it's going to be an easy win. I mean, that defense still is pretty good. I know Watt out gives them a little bit of a road bump, but yeah, I think the Pats get it done.
Okay. And is this our last game?
It is.
Okay, our last game where we're stepping outside the box a little bit here. This looked like, although historically speaking, perhaps a more interesting game would be the Saints and the Buccaneers, because the Saints have owned Tom Brady. He addressed that yesterday. Now, Sean Payton was a coach during those days. He's no longer the head coach. Saints got a Week 1 win against Atlanta. That's going to be a fun game to watch. And in the NFC South, I made the comment already, there's no better division to watch the games when they play against one another than that NFC South. I'm telling you. If you go look it up, the point differential, each and every time those teams in that division play, games are razor-thin margins. Okay. The Raiders. My buddy Chris Berman. I wait for him to say it every week when he does that Monday Night Football 2-minute. Yep. But he always will get in.
Oh, yeah.
The Raiders. All right. Raiders 5.5 at home. Raiders lost last week to the Chargers, and it's the Raiders' home opener. The Cardinals were blown out by the Chiefs, And as Brian Billick predicted, already this whole Kyler Murray thing is just a simmering explosion. Apparently, they've taken the clause out of his contract. Remember all that? About requiring that he prepares better, prepares differently. It got out in the press. Everybody's in scramble mode. I think they continue to just botch this entire story with every move they make. It's a time bomb. He's a talented player, at times a great player. They are in disarray. The Raiders, 5.5.
Yeah, and I'm also taking the Raiders for.
No, you got to say it, Casey.
The Raiders.
There you go.
All right.
The Raiders. All right. I'm taking the Raiders on this one. I don't think the Cardinals' defense is very good. I don't think their offense is really good, even with Kyler there. They really need DeAndre Hopkins, and he's not back yet. He's got, I think, 5 weeks left.
Yep.
And, yeah, it's not going to be a good time for Kyler Murray. He's going to get chased down by Chandler Jones, right? I'm pretty sure he's a Raider now, right? And the other guy, I can't remember his name, the other defensive end for the Raiders.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
I'm drawing a blank.
I know I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, but he's
too.
really good too. It's going to be a bad game for Kyler Murray on this one.
I think week 1 woes out of the way. They might not win, at least cover.
We'll see.
Okay.
And
But
then
if you were betting money line on that, and you're not, we're just doing this against the spread. If you were going on a money line pick, to quote Paul Fritchner, would you sprinkle in a little money on the Cardinals on a money line win?
No.
Not a chance.
So you're not that much of a believer.
No. But I have them in my pick to go to the playoffs in our prediction.
I did too, and it was a terrible mistake.
Well,
They are a franchise reeling. They have phenomenal football fans out there in Arizona, one of the best venues to play in.